Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming out. What a hearty bunch you are. Very much appreciated. Once again, if you need the facilities, it's across the street at the firehouse. We thank the fire department and the Oceanside Fire District very much for allowing us to use the facilities. We have with us tonight our Kiwanis president, Eric Abbey, in the back. And we thank Kiwanis for all their support. And we have the president of the Friends of the Oceanside Library, Angela, who's at the table, and we thank them for all their support, and we thank you all for your support. So if you haven't already gotten your 50, 25, 25 tickets, please do so. 25% of the pot goes in tonight. I don't think you're going to be able to do too much with it. I don't think, but you never know. Three or $4 will go far. And then the 25% gets rolled into the end of the year big pot. And so hopefully we'll get out of June and we'll sooner than later. And just made my evening. Mrs. Lair just made my evening. So again, on the programs on the back, especially, you'll see all of our sponsors, and we thank them all very, very much. And so without any further ado, our first reader of the evening, Linda Dickman.
Yeah, I'm good, and I know how to move it, but we're good. I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy to know that Tony expects people to read because he's a librarian like I am, so it's all good. So the first thing, I'm not going to say anything else about me or anything, but I am going to read something from my friend Chip. My first poem is called Chip, for Chip Williford at Seatuck. When I first saw him, he came into the circle of poets under a gathering of pines, filling the gap, folding his legs under him like a fawn, gentle upon the grass. His presence changed the atmosphere. His words filled the air with love, with hope, with joy. What he did in his tranquil way bound us together in peace, in comfort, in security, made us a circle of poets in one connected poem. And here he comes. It's nice when you bring your fans and your fans bring you. Libraries are figuring strong in my evening. We're doing a reading at the end of the month in Stonington, Maine, at the Stonington Public Library. It's the first time the Arts Coalition is going on the road to take the reading someplace. So my poetry is going to be about Stonington. And I have to say, Sharon Anderson approved, the Mainer. This is called Boyce's Motel for Barrett Gray and all the Grays before him, Stonington, Maine. On the road again, all day, the scene changed. All day, tiny bodies painted raindrop patterns on the windshield. All day, pine trees washed in showers tipped their cone-laden heads as we drove by. There was a welcoming sticky note on the door. Welcome, Linda Dickman. He left the light on for us. A small, immaculate room, perfect for a new view, a foghorn lullaby. The sun had the strongest voice in this slant room. This time, I unpack, give in to stay. The waves clap over open spaces in the stone wall, applauding for Stonington. Fringed granite edged our walk. Wind washes up over my chin, past my ears, as I lean against the angled deck chair. I breathe in. I breathe in airs of wet dock, old rope, low tide. I watch the patterns on the water, wind-driven rock foundation. The welcome at the inn, the no TV shows I usually watch, gift. Nothing routine save breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. The no driving, the silence, punctuated by the ever-present foghorn. Thank you. And this is the title of this little chapbook that I'm putting together for this event. It's called Even the Water Whispered, for the working folks in Stonington, Maine. Gulls rising up like milkweed on the draft of a thermal wind. Quiet pickups on Main Street roll. Not a radio wave or a haddock shoal. Waders, caps, and lobster traps, those and knee boots too. The working folks are up pre-dawn, fishing boats on rippled lawns. Their weathered skin and salty grins to be among the local kin. This town's off-season charm, embrace, reserved and warm. A dearth of masts, but not of floats. Cushioned were these lobster boats. The lobstermen and women call, attend to Foghorn's lonely call. Down at Stonecutter's kitchen, they grab breakfast Sammys on their way. This galley feeds the folks that feed. Get up even earlier to meet their need. A friendly greeting, a door held long, added to the welcome song. Caffeinated, salted smiles, the signature of this Maine Isle. Thank you. And for all you library lovers, this is called Stonington Public Library for Chris Ross, who was the director. It began with a sandwich board on the porch. Welcome, story time, poetry, open mic, food, and fiction. Island artist exhibit. I couldn't wait. The library closed. We walked by the next day. Bubble wands, magic glycerin, a welcome even when the doors were not open. And then Tuesday, flew up the steps into welcome. Chris talking about his latest crossword triumph, just back from NYC. Us just in from NY. A bond was formed. One more trip, books for loan, books for sale, books for free. The library had it all. Local art, a place to find out, and a director with a heart as big as the view. And one more. This is called a tree shanty. And the scientific word for this sound is called a sitherism. Stonington, Maine. They are dipped, brushed, coated with winter's confection. They are woodwinds. They are sunset's soundtrack. They are strung with soft needles. They whisper in the breeze. These are old salts. Their orchestra, a fleet of waves. Their song punctuates coffeeed conversation, sets the halyards to singing. They conduct in a hurricane, waving their arms, like an impassioned maestro, yet tamed by a greater hand. They dance in unison as if no one is watching. The music they make, slightly younger than time, soothes the soul, calms the spirit, the euphony of trees. Thank you very much.
Linda Dickman. All right. So next up in here in our 19th season, Sandy, it's probably been good 10, 15 years since you've been here, but a good friend of the entire publishing and poetry community. Ladies and gentlemen, Sandy McIntosh. I think we got the right time for you. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to read from my new book, which is called, just came out in May. It's called Escape from the Fat Farm. Now, I thought everybody knew what a fat farm was. Everybody knows what a fat farm is, right? Yeah, I mean, it's a spa where you go to lose weight, you know? So I'll read the title, a portion or poem from that. Day one. Cappy, our dining room host, announces, "You'll be served delightful low-calorie meals and you shall lose weight." Day two. I gaze at my plate. The solitary pea that was on the edge rolled over the rim and disappeared. Day three. Cappy says, "Beware the alligators in the moat and keep hands off the rabbits. Delectable, yet their bites are deadly." Day four. The table talk has turned entirely to food. If at breakfast, then about lunch. If at lunch, then about dinner. Then breakfast again. We are insatiable in our talk about food. Day five. We suspect little Tubby Moran has caught and eaten a rabbit. Our jealousy knows no bounds. Day six. We've been debating the best method for capturing an alligator. Can you whistle and they come? No. Can you call them, "Hey, alligator, hey, alligator"? No. And would pan roasting be easier or stuff it whole into the oven? Probably neither. I'd rather have the shoes, belts, and handbags, observes adorable Penelope. But the rest of us know the truth. She'd wrestle an alligator to death, its fritters steaming in the sun, if they just let us out of this building. Day seven. Our conversations are now whispered because Cappy is watching and listening, his hands clanking metal ball bearings like Captain Queeg. He is suspicious of our whispering. Day eight. The meals get no better. A slight diversion. Our waiter, a new daddy, shows off his infant child. This event leaves us quiet, meditative. Our table mate, Dr. X, an admitted amateur torturer, opines that cleaning, cooking, and eating a human infant is as simple as cooking a baby pig. We find this horrible and disgusting, and we tell him so. But this leads to speculation on where we might find a baby pig. Day nine. Cappy now appears each night dressed as a pirate, complete with wooden leg. He twirls his pirate gun and reminds us by certain gestures that it's loaded. Day 10. Someone serves us the wrong dinner. The menu said steak with mashed potatoes and a chocolate milkshake, but all we got was a plate of spoons, not even a steak knife. Little Tubby Moran complains loudly, but answer gets he none. Day 11. We are served a bowl of murky soup made with moat water. An openly hostile Cappy commands, "Get in there with your spoons and row, you blackguards," and he fires a warning shot across our bow. It is understood that we must now address him as Captain. Day 12. Little Tubby Moran has disappeared. Nobody says it, but we're all thinking the same thing. Dr. X is missing also. Day 13. There is open talk of mutiny. The captain chained us to the deck. We're fed only low-fat yogurt with the occasional strawberry floating in it. But all we need is the opportunity, and Cappy goes down. Then we'll row ourselves across the moat to freedom and a good brunch. Day 14. A terrible storm at sea. Cartons of croutons and little packets of mayonnaise float by, but always out of reach. Penelope says, "Let's see if we can swim as far as the kitchen. I'll get a decent meal if I must kill someone." We manage this and are awed. Refrigerators, their shelves weighed down with food, loom. And there is something else. In the blackness, a lone figure stands between us and our dinner. It is Cappy, aiming his pistol. "I'll take care of this," hisses darkly determined Penelope. This night, we eat. Day 15. Morning sun and quiet sea. At last, it's all over. Cappy has vanished. The dining room doors have opened. We, tattered survivors, pull ourselves together. Outdoors, A bucolic scene. Alligators dozing like armored cars in the moat banks, sounds of tiny sprockets turning inside the bodies of caterpillars. And as we're led to the scales, we discover to our delight that we have lost weight, exactly as advertised in the brochure, though it's mostly missing arms and legs. Thank you. Okay, so here's a letter to Frederick Mitterrand. Dear Fred, on the day you interviewed me at my home for your TV documentary about Donald Trump, you noticed that I was writing something about Marcel Proust on my computer screen. I was writing about an episode that had recently happened when I was in a bookstore looking at old and new translations of Marcel Proust. An older woman came over and introduced herself as Proust's granddaughter. She was perfectly present, and we had a long conversation about Proust and her memories of him. Of course, I knew, or at least suspected, that Proust, because he was a confirmed bachelor, never had a son or daughter, least of all a granddaughter. I concluded that she was harmless and not about to beg for money or start trouble. Similarly, I was a 14-year-old military school student on a field trip to the Guggenheim Museum years before. The exhibition then was of the French post-impressionists. At the top of the spiral platform, as a friend and I discussed the first painting of Paul Cézanne, an elderly man approached and whispered, "Don't say anything about that painting, I'm standing right here." Because he was dressed in a slightly foreign manner, I assumed he was the artist himself until my friend pointed at the date on the painting, which would have made the man more than 150 years old. Other than whispering his warning, the elderly man did not seem to want anything from us. In your biography, La Mauvaise Vie, I recall reading the story of an old woman who called you by telephone late one night and identified herself as a countess, a descendant of the Ancient Regime, and a distant relative. You were pleased to speak with her and had many late-night phone chats until you discovered that she was a fraud, a harmless impersonator. What do you think? These people who appear at bookstores and museums, who call you in the nighttime for some reason known only to them, have decided to become other people and then strike up conversations appropriate to their impersonation. Is it merely a whim, or is there something deeper going on in their psyche? Or does this explain it? At an art gallery recently, I was standing near a beautiful woman who was wearing a light summer print dress. Her cell phone rang, and she answered in a deep and unmistakable male baritone, "What is it, Marvin? I told you, just put the damn tools away and close the shop." She turned off her phone and muttered to no one in particular, "This damn day job, they'd never leave me alone." With warm memories of meeting you, my best wishes, yours sincerely, etc. And one final poem. This is a series of poems about my mother, and this is the last in the book, called Cemetery Chess. We lower my brother's coffin beneath his monument. Abruptly, mother hisses, "Look, not 20 feet away, another monument, the grave of my brother's nanny. She wanted him for her own," mother whispers. "Now she's got him." A decade passes. The game of cemetery chess progresses slowly. Mother dies, her monument erected midway between brother and nanny. As we lower my mother down, I whisper to the nanny, "Check." Thank you very much.
Sandy McIntosh. All right, next week as we continue June, Gail Teller, Ann Cohn, Monica Wendell, and Tom Phelan will give it a second shot. And hopefully we bring some sun with us. So we are delighted. He was not such when we first booked him, but he is now, ladies and gentlemen, the Suffolk County Poet Laureate, Chip Williford.
Thank you, everyone. It's so good to be here. It's my first time, and I am just thrilled. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Oceanside Kiwanis Club, and everyone that made this happen. And it's so great to follow Linda and Sandy. This is the poem that I read for the legislators when they appointed me Suffolk County Poet Laureate. It's entitled Thoughts of a Mongoose, and it is a metaphoric poem, and the premise being gossip. Beware of the poison that's found in the whispering meadows of flowering lies. Restricted by hovering hills, closely watched by luminous skies, the spreading of daffodils and seeds of dandelion, naively playing wild games of nature tamed only by design, mused by the sun's bright rays, a reflection unkind. Clouds waltz their way, shadowing the traps of the mischievous thoughts of the mongoose. Pray. As persnickety as the wind blows the perfume of danger and escape the harvest spray, while baby monkeys cling tightly to their mother's lap, raging river rapids continue to flow down towards the valley, where mouths continue to flap. Thank you. Now, since we're talking about gossip, this is the situation. I dare not tell the truth about me and him. Sorrow and disappointment is all that lies within. Our home, our lives, our bed, no questions, no answers, no more tears shed. The bumps are no longer in the road, but reside in my heart, shielded from happiness and hopes of a solution long left out in the cold. Yet I persist, though I know the promise of a dream does not exist. Living with lies is his own destruction, saying it out loud is bold. Don't you dare judge me. Alone I am here within my heart, losing myself into secrecy of not being realistic. So what do I want? A new start? Like a delicious milkshake. I sipped his words, rough and cold. He told me he didn't want me to go. Please stay, refilling my glass with promises and plans I had so wanted to hear a week, month, year ago. Oh, should I go now before the weight of regret of staying too long distract my exit? Swiftly, I tossed him the key, grabbed what I needed mostly, strength and beauty, left him standing at the door, and found what I really needed, me. Thank you. And that was just made up. I'm happily married. I am with this wonderful guy for 25 years. Okay, this happy Father's Day. This month is full of celebrations. Happy Pride, happy Father's Day, happy African American Music Appreciation Day. And we also commemorate Juneteenth and Men's Awareness Month, Mental Health Awareness Month. This is entitled To My Siblings. When the moon shines through the evening darkness and the air hits heavy is on the thickest layer of my skin, awakening my heart that beats rapidly within my chest, I am reminded I am alive. As tears trail down my face, I remember the smiles and laughter of happier times when Dad would take us in his arms and make everything all right. God, I wish he was here, alive and well with us tonight as we look out at this beautiful moon shining so bright. Do you wonder about tomorrow, or do you smile in gratitude of today? I like to think in times like this that tomorrow I'll still be here. But the truth is, I don't know when I too shall depart. So tonight I will enjoy the moon as it awakens my consciousness and warms my heart, acknowledging every moment matters most. Thank you. The Beast is a poem that I wrote um, because I had a speech impediment that I'm still working on, and I work on it every single day. And some people have a beast. It could be something that you deal with every day. It could be a habit or an addiction. My eyes open, the day falls dark, and I'm at war with the beast I defeated yesterday. No one can see the deep wound tightly wrapped in the dried, blood-stained linen tucked underneath my breastplate. No one seems to care, having their own battles to fight and their own wounds to mend. From the muddy depths I lifted my head and my sword towards the heavens. With the mighty strength of the gods, I began swinging with cutting the belly of the beast, merely wounding them before their retreat. Yes, I know another round is imminent. Imminent. Morning is only hours away. I will rejoice and rest till then. Under the soul. SOLE. I get tired of looking up, only to see the dirt on the soul that's constantly pressing me down. No doubt, with all my might, I will, no matter what, continue to fight and most likely cry. I know y'all questioning, well, tradition, honor, bravery, strength, pledge an oath, duty, and finally the cliche. Yes, I know I shouldn't complain because there's always someone somewhere worse off than I. Truthfully, nonetheless, here I am barely lifting that dirty soul just so I can breathe, while hoping and praying that one day soon I'll be able to squeeze out from under the heavy foot of incarcerated sorrow. I swear if I don't make it out today, I'll try even harder tomorrow. You see, I can't give up and I won't give in as long as I have one breath of air. I don't care how bad it appears, for in my soul I know they meaning the source, the power, the glory, and light within, can't or won't put more on me than I can bear. I believe God's love and strength I receive and clutch to my bosom with all my weary might. Locked within my soul, I rest and trust that the gift of His Spirit will sustain me tonight. In the morning, I will offer thanks to God again and again for giving me another day. And with Him, I'll lift from under that dirty soul and finally slip away. Thank you. Tick tock. What of our lives would we make if only we knew how many breaths we had left to take? With each and every tick of the clock we survive is another tick we should rejoice for being alive. If we knew how many breaths we had left to take, of what of our lives and a legacy would we make? To love, to give, and to share light? To embrace another chance to make things right? To how many would we say, I'm sorry? To whom would we choose to forgive? How different would our life choices be if we only knew how long we had left to live? Maybe we wouldn't take our blessings for granted or easy forget those who helped us on our journey, nor would we neglect to care for the seeds we planted. Oh, of what of our lives and legacy would we make if we only knew how many breaths we had left to take? What lessons can we really learn? Who would we want to keep close? From whom would we refrain? What would we change, give up, lose, and burn? How would we choose which passions are still worth the yearn? How would we spend our time? Where would we go? The truth is, we may not ever know. Are you so confident you can say each second you remain without regret, doubt, and shame you will continue to live your life the same? Thank you. And I have one more. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. America, I see, I see. I see America, and I will not be quiet, hold my peace, or get over it. I'll take our nation's horrid past, present, and future very personally. America, there is still time to start healing from the scars of history, but by first telling the truth. Yes, the truth, the reality. This nation was formed, founded, and is still being governed with ideology embedded in racism, sexism, and other cruel and inhumane atrocities. Native American genocide and slavery are just two of the deep scars in America's history. Before it's too late, please understand any action fueled with hate, white supremacy ideology, fear, homophobia, sexism, or racism just isn't right. America, will you please learn and not lose sight? Treating hardworking people's precious lives, hopes, and dreams of a better future and their lives inhumanely, killing our black men, women, and children, making policies, laws, and degrading systems designed to put and keep black people and people of color down in poverty, depressed, and in prison just isn't right. If this idea of America truly being the land of the free, then liberty, justice, and equality must be inclusive, including people who look like you, them, and me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Chip Williford. Okay, our fourth reader didn't show, along with a good chunk of our crew. But what we're going to do tonight is I have one winner of $23, and then usually I pick four more to go into the final pool. But you guys have been so great, I'm going to pick 9 more. We're going to go with 10 that go into the August. You don't win anything tonight, but you could have a chance to win later. And Chip Williford, that nobody can ever say that poetry doesn't pay. You got more tickets? All right. Well, I already pulled the one. Chip, you won $23. Who says poetry doesn't pay? All right. One, Sandy, you don't win anything tonight, but you go into the big pot at the end of August. Usually about $400 or $500, $600. And same thing. You don't get anything tonight. Lloyd, same thing. You don't get anything tonight. Chris Pearsall, you don't get anything tonight. Marianne Larry, you don't get anything tonight. But you got a chance. You got to be in it to win it, and now you guys are in it. Larry McCoy, Munchkin, Sandy, you're in twice. I've lost track. I'm just going to pull a couple more. Sandy Shoal and another for Marianne Laird. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. Really do appreciate it. Angela promises you sun next week or double your admission price back.